What's up, y'all, man? It's getting excited. This is X-Men True Origins, part 18. Look like it's about to go down, man, between Joseph and our patriarchs. And this doesn't look like it's gonna be really. This doesn't look like it's gonna be really nice. Not a nice scene. So let's hopefully something is resolved here. All right. Jasher chapter 54 verse 34. And Joseph heard all these words that his brethren spoke before him, and they did not know that Joseph understood them, for they imagined that he knew not to speak Hebrew. And Joseph was greatly afraid at the words of his brethren, lest they should destroy Egypt. And he commanded his son Manasseh, saying, Go now, make haste, and gather unto me all the inhabitants of Egypt, and all the valiant men together, and let them come to me now upon horseback and on foot, and with all sorts of musical instruments. And Manasseh went and did so. And Naphtali went as Judah had commanded him, for Naphtali was light-footed, as one of the swift stags, and he would go upon the ears of corn, and they would not break under him. Now, what superpower, what character reminds you of that? Flash, right? Flash. That's where you get it from. See how swift this guy was? It's Flash. And he went and numbered all the streets of Egypt, and found them to be 12. And he came hastily and told Judah. And Judah said unto his brethren, Hasten you, and put on every man his sword upon his loins, and we will come over Egypt, and smite them all, and let not a remnant remain. Judah wasn't playing. He ain't playing. And Judah said, Behold, I will destroy 3 of the streets with my strength, and you shall each destroy 1 street. And when Judah was speaking this thing, behold, the inhabitants of Egypt and all the mighty men came toward them with all sorts of musical instruments and with loud shouting. What's that to them? These are men of Yah. They stand against anything. And their number was 500 cavalry, and 10,000 infantry, and 400 men who could fight without sword or spear, only with their hands and strength. And all the mighty men came with great storming and shouting, and they all surrounded the sons of Jacob, and terrified them, and the ground quaked at the sound of their shouting. And when the sons of Jacob saw these troops, they were greatly afraid for their lives. And Joseph did so in order to terrify the sons of Jacob, to become tranquilized. These your brothers. You saw them grow up, Joseph. But come on, Joseph. You've seen these guys. Think this going to tranquilize them? And Judah, seeing some of his brethren terrified, said unto them, Why are you afraid, whilst the grace of the Almighty is with us? And when Judah saw all the people of Egypt surrounding them at the command of Joseph to terrify them, only Joseph commanded them, saying, Do not touch any of them. Then Judah hastened and drew his sword, and uttered a loud and bitter scream, and he smote with his sword, and he sprang upon the ground, and he still continued to shout against all the people. And when he did this thing, that Yah caused the terror of Judah and his brethren to fall upon the valiant men and all the people that surrounded them. And they all fled at the sound of the shouting, and they were terrified, and fell one upon the other, and many of them died as they fell. And they all fled from before Judah and his brethren, and from before Joseph. And whilst they were fleeing, Judah and his brethren pursued them unto the house of Pharaoh, and they all escaped. And Judah again sat before Joseph, and roared at him like a lion, and gave a great and tremendous shriek at him. And the shriek was heard at a distance, and all the inhabitants of Succoth heard it. And all Egypt quaked at the sound of the shriek. And also the walls of Egypt and the land of Goshen fell in from the shaking of the earth. And Pharaoh also fell from his throne upon the ground. And also all the pregnant women of Egypt and Goshen miscarried when they heard the noise of the shaking, for they were terribly afraid. Let's repeat that. All the pregnant women of Egypt and Goshen miscarried when they heard the noise of the shaking, for they were terribly afraid. So he just shouted, "Brah!" Tremors, tremors, tremors. Women miscarrying. That ain't superpowers? And Pharaoh sent word saying, "What is this thing that has this day happened in the land of Egypt?" And they came and told him all the things from beginning to end. And Pharaoh was alarmed, and he wondered and was greatly afraid, and his fright increased when he heard all these things. And he sent unto Joseph, saying, "Thou hast brought unto me the Hebrews to destroy all Egypt. What wilt thou do with that thievish slave? Send him away, and let him go with his brethren, and let us not perish through their evil, even we, you, and all of Egypt." See, Pharaoh knows what these Hebrews can do. And he's telling Joseph, "Man, let this thief go. He's a common thief. Let him go. You trying to destroy us? And if thou desirest not to do this thing, cast off from thee all my valuable things, and go with them to their land, if thou delightest in it. For they will this day destroy my whole country, and slay all my people. Even all the women of Egypt have miscarried through their screams. See what they have done merely by their shouting and speaking. Moreover, if they fight with the sword, they will destroy the land. Now therefore choose that which thou desirest, whether me or the Hebrews, whether Egypt or the land of the Hebrews." So you're going to decide. You're my boy and everything, but you're going to decide. You ain't about to ruin my country. I know what these dudes can do. And they came and told Joseph all the words of Pharaoh that he had said concerning him. And Joseph was greatly afraid at the words of Pharaoh, and Judah and his brethren were still standing before Joseph, indignant and enraged. And all the sons of Jacob roared at Joseph, like the roaring of the sea in its waves. And Joseph was greatly afraid of his brethren on account of Pharaoh. And Joseph sought a pretext to make himself known unto his brethren, lest they should destroy all Egypt. And Joseph commanded his son Manasseh, and Manasseh went and approached Judah, and placed his hand upon his shoulder, and the anger of Judah was stilled. And Judah said to his brethren, "Let not one of you say that this is the act of an Egyptian youth, for this is the work of my father's house." So that energy and strength Judah knew came through Hebrews. It's like, man, this ain't no Egyptian, man, not with this strength. So Manasseh must have put some kind of grip on him like they do in wrestling, and it kind of stilled Judah. And Joseph, seeing and knowing that Judah's anger was stilled, he approached to speak unto Judah in the language of mildness. And Joseph said unto Judah, "Surely you speak truth, and have this day verified your assertions concerning your strength. And may Yah, who delighteth in you, increase your welfare. But tell me truly, why from amongst all thy brethren dost thou wrangle with me on account of the lad, as none of them has spoken one word to me concerning him?" And Judah answered Joseph, saying, "Surely thou must know that I was security for the lad to his father, saying, If I brought him not unto him, I should bear his blame forever. Therefore have I approached thee from amongst all my brethren, for I saw that thou wast unwilling to suffer him to go from thee. Now therefore may I find grace in thy sight, that thou shalt send him to go with us, and behold, I will remain as a substitute for him, to serve thee in whatever thou desirest. For wheresoever thou shalt send me, I will go to serve thee with great energy. Send me now to a mighty king who has rebelled against thee, and thou shalt know what I will do unto him and unto his land. Although he may have cavalry and infantry, or an exceeding mighty people, I will slay them all and bring the king's head before thee. Dost thou not know, or hast thou not heard, that our father Abraham with his servant Eleazar smote all the kings of Elam with their host in one night? They left not one remaining. And ever since that day our father's strength was given unto us for an inheritance, for us and our seed forever. Now see, if you're a true Israelite, we have this strength in us. We don't know how to extract it yet. You know, we do go to good in sports and everything, but our full potential, you can combine our physical and our spiritual. We have this in us. We just got to find out how to extract it. And ever since that day, our Father's strength was given unto us for an inheritance for us and our seed forever. Jasher 54 verse 60. Jasher 54:60. That strength was given to us for an inheritance for our seed forever.